You feel it, don't you? That quiet hunger beneath your ribs, the constant reach for something to wake you, to push you, to carry you just one more step. You look for motivation in screens, in voices, in quotes, in people who do not know you. You wait for a spark that never comes. And in that waiting, you bleed out. This is the disease of the modern man. He cannot move unless someone injects strength into him. There is a heaviness in your bones that no sleep seems to fix. A fog behind your eyes that no coffee burns through. Your mind scatters itself across meaningless thoughts. Your spirit feels like a room where the candles have all gone out, and nobody sees it, because the world has taught you to suffer silently while pretending you are fine. Every day, you leak pieces of yourself into things that do not feed you. Musashi knew this sickness long before any of us were born. As a young man, he understood a truth most men never discover. A warrior dies the moment he waits for energy. On the battlefield, hesitation is a grave already dug. In life, it is slower, quieter, but just as fatal. Musashi learned to create energy through stillness, through discipline, through an inner fire that needed no witness. He never begged for strength. He forged it. And here lies your first revelation. Energy is not given. It rises from within like water drawn from a deep, ancient well. It is shaped by your habits, sharpened by your focus, summoned by your will. You are not empty because life drained you. You are empty because you keep expecting the world to fill you. But the warrior, who walks from this chapter, will no longer wait. He will no longer ask. He will no longer beg. The world does not want you powerful. It wants you hungry. It wants you looking outward for energy, so it can sell you pieces of yourself at a price. Every flashing screen, every voice shouting for your approval, every comparison that steals an hour of your life, they all thrive on your emptiness. The more drained you are, the easier you are to control. Your attention has become a feeding ground for parasites. Look at what devours you. The endless scroll, the noise masquerading as entertainment, the idle conversations that leave you spiritually dizzy, even the silent comparisons you make in your mind, they gnaw at you from the inside. This is why you feel exhausted even when you've done nothing. This is why your fire dims without a single physical task being done. Musashi avoided crowded cities. He rejected gossip, refused to linger in places where men wasted their breath on meaningless words. He understood that distraction was a thief, dressed in silence. In solitude, he reclaimed the full force of his attention. In stillness, he fed his spirit rather than watching it starve. Here is your revelation. Attention is not a resource. It is your lifeblood. Where it flows, your strength follows. Where it leaks, your energy dies. The transformation begins when you realize that the only thing you truly control is where you place your gaze. Take it back, and you reclaim your power. Take it back, and the parasites begin to starve. Not all weariness comes from the world outside. Some of the heaviest burdens you bear live in the chambers of your own mind. How many nights have you wasted replaying conversations that ended years ago? How much strength have you spent carrying resentment you refuse to release? How many times have you drowned in self-doubt because you measure yourself against an image of the man you wish you were instead of the man you could become? These mental weights do not scream, they whisper. They cling to you quietly until you can no longer feel the difference between your own spirit and the anchors tied around it. Musashi was born into a clan that expected him to live a certain way, obedient, molded, contained. But he walked away, not out of rebellion, but necessity. He understood that a warrior cannot carry the expectations of others if he wishes to carry his own destiny. The emotional baggage of his upbringing, the pressure of tradition, the shadows of those who doubted him, he cut them loose, so his spirit could breathe. And here is the revelation you must confront. Your energy does not disappear. It is consumed by unresolved thoughts, buried emotions, unfinished chapters you refuse to close. The mind is a battlefield, where your own memories can wound you more than any enemy. Letting go is not weakness. It is the purest form of discipline. A warrior cannot rise while dragging ghosts. You think you need more stimulation, more sound, more movement, more reasons to feel alive. But the truth is far quieter, far older, and far more difficult to accept. You do not need more noise. You need silence. Energy does not grow in chaos. It grows in the unseen spaces, where the world falls away, and only you remain. Yet the modern man avoids stillness as if it were an enemy. He cannot sit alone without reaching for distraction. He cannot let his mind settle without craving something to fill the void. He fears the quiet, because the quiet exposes him. Musashi spent nights alone in the mountains. He trained in forests where even the wind seemed to move with intention. He meditated until his thoughts became clear enough to cut with. In silence, he discovered the hidden forge that rebuilt his strength. Not stimulation, not motivation. Stillness. This is your revelation. Stillness is not the absence of energy. It is the birthplace of it. In the quiet, the mind repairs itself. In solitude, the spirit reclaims its shape. A man who embraces silence is a man who no longer runs from himself. And when you stop running, your flame begins to rise again. You've been waiting for the moment when you finally feel ready. But readiness is an illusion crafted by a weak mind. You tell yourself you are too tired, too overwhelmed, too drained, and so you wait. You wait for energy to arrive before you act. You wait for motivation to hit before you begin. You wait for certainty before you move. But every day that passes reinforces the same prison. Your body obeys your feelings, not your will. Musashi lived by the principle of no mind, a state where action is not tied to emotion. He did not wait to feel powerful before he struck. He did not wait to feel prepared before he trained. He moved because movement itself was the source of strength, by refusing to negotiate with fatigue. He broke its hold on him, and here is your revelation. Fatigue is a sensation, not a command. It does not own you. It speaks, but you do not have to listen. When you act without waiting to feel ready, you generate momentum. And momentum produces energy. A warrior with momentum becomes a force of nature, unstoppable not because he is never tired, but because he refuses to be ruled by tiredness. The transformation begins the moment you stop asking your emotions for permission to live. Energy is not a mystery. It is a consequence. Your body, your mind, your spirit, they obey the rhythms you impose on them. If your life is chaotic, your energy will be chaotic. If your routines are weak, your strength will be weak. You cannot spend your nights drowning in screens and your mornings wondering why your spirit has no fire. Chaos consumes a man from the inside. Inconsistent sleep drains you. Irregular habits scatter your focus. A day without structure devours more energy than a battlefield. Musashi understood this deeply. His life was built on rituals. Morning sword practice, physical conditioning, writing, calligraphy, observation of nature, ascetic discipline. He trained his body to obey. He trained his mind to align. Through ritual, he created a life where strength was not something he sought, it was something he produced. Your revelation is simple but heavy. Discipline manufactures energy. Structure is not confinement, it is liberation. Repetition is not monotony, it is mastery. When you craft your own code, your own rhythm, your own rituals, you stop moving through life like a man tossed by the wind. You begin to generate power simply by existing. There are people in your life who do not want you strong, not because they hate you, but because your strength exposes their weakness. And weakness always wants company. Some men drain you with their drama. Some women drain you with their emotional chaos. Some friends drain you because they refuse to grow. And yet you keep them close out of guilt, comfort, or fear of being alone. But every moment you spend near them chips away at your fire. Weak people do not need to hurt you directly to harm you. Their presence alone is enough to dim your spirit. Musashi walked alone for long stretches of his life, not because he despised others, but because he understood that a warrior cannot be surrounded by men who have no control over themselves. He refused alliances built on fear or comfort. He cut away anyone who weakened his path. Your revelation is a blade laid in your hand. Guard your energy with the same ferocity you guard your life. Not everyone deserves access to you. Not everyone deserves your time, your mind, your presence. The transformation is ruthless. You stop apologizing for protecting your spirit. Strength does not grow beside those who drain it. There comes a point in a man's life when the old version of him must die. The drained version, the dependent version, the version that begged for energy instead of forging it. When that version falls away, something ancient rises in its place. Something Musashi lived. Something few men ever touch. The self-sustaining spirit, the furnace that feeds itself. Think back to who you were before this path. A man scattered, distracted, tired in ways he could not explain. A man who begged the world to give him what he refused to build. A man who mistook stimulation for strength, noise for power, validation for worth. Musashi reached a stage in his life where energy was not something he felt. It was something he radiated. His mind aligned with his purpose. His actions aligned with his code. His spirit aligned with his solitude. From this alignment came a fire that no fatigue could extinguish. Your revelation is the culmination of everything you've learned. Inner power is not gifted by the world. It is born from living according to your own code. When your actions match your values, when your environment matches your discipline, when your mind matches your purpose, you become your own source of fire. A man who burns from within cannot be drained by the world outside. And now you stand here, alone, quiet, unchanged on the outside, transformed on the inside. You feel it. Something heavy has fallen away. Something sharper has taken its place. This final truth rests heavy on your shoulders. You stop begging for energy. When you stop living like a man who needs permission, dependence has a cost. You paid it for years. You paid it with your strength, your clarity, your peace. Musashi walked alone not because he had to, but because solitude was where he forged himself into a man who answered to no one. A man undefeated not because he was stronger than others, but because he was aligned with himself. A man who did not chase energy, he embodied it. This is your revelation, whispered like a final grain of wisdom. Energy is not something you pursue, it is something you become. And so the screen fades, the noise fades, the world fades, and only you remain. A man standing still, self-contained, self-fed, not waiting, not asking, not begging, just walking forward, quietly, into the life that was always meant for you.